Welcome to Corinne's Food Diary. Hi everyone, hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. So some of you may know that I'm quite passionate about food and cooking. So I thought, after speaking to my cameraman here, Jean-Paul, my son, say hello.
Hello.
We thought, why not put some of the recipe I do online and I can share it with you. And this is the first step to many of the upcoming projects next year in Corinne's Food Diary and Corinne's Food Space. So I hope you enjoy it. So tonight we're going to be making a traditional Mauritian chicken curry. I couldn't start this without doing justice to my family back home. I am myself half Indian, so eating curries and eating spicy food is something so happens quite often in my house, and it still happens here in Australia with Jean-Paul. So we're going to make a chicken curry, a very simple Mauritian chicken curry, whereby we're using chicken thighs with bone and skin. I'm not scared of fatty bits of chicken. After that, I'm going to add some vegetables in it. We have some potatoes, some carrots and some cauliflower. In here, we've got 2 tablespoons of Mauritian curry powder, which you can use any curry powder that you can buy from any shop. I do like to add more spices to my curry, so I've put a little bit of teaspoon of turmeric. We've got 2 cinnamon stick, a whole onion, some garlic and some ginger, and also some tomato chopped up and ready to go into the curry as well. So let's get cooking! So the first thing we do with this chicken curry is I do like to brown the chicken first. I feel like it does seal the flavors a little bit more. Just put a little bit of salt over the skin. Make sure you rub it pretty nicely. Now, you're most welcome to remove the fat from the chicken thighs, but I personally do not like to remove fat off chicken. So I'm just going to use it the way it is right now. Just make sure the oil is nice and hot so you can brown the chicken parts. So one thing that I forgot to mention whilst getting this recipe ready is that this recipe may take between 25 to 30 minutes, and it also depends on the pieces of chicken you're cooking with and also how many people you're cooking with. Now in my household, it's just Jean-Paul and I. He's 10 years old, so I'm not going to use a lot of produce, but I do tend to cook and leave some for the next day for work. So the recipe today, I'm only using 3 thighs. I'm only using a couple of potatoes, half a cauliflower and some carrots. But do feel free to amend this according to how many people you've got in your family or if you're cooking for yourself. So the first thing we're going to do after I've browned the chicken is just crush some the 3 cloves of garlic, and that's to cook with the cinnamon sticks and so forth. You can put your garlic, and the ginger. Just make sure it's fried up. Really good because it gives it a really nice flavor. And I add the cinnamon sticks there. And I also am going to put the onions in here. Now there's a lot of onions. I do like to eat lots of onions. Okay, so we've got now the onions have browned with the garlic and the cinnamon. So the next step for us is I'm just going to add some turmeric and also the curry powder to some water, just to make it as a form of a paste. And then I'm going to add that to the onions. So just mix that properly to make sure that it becomes almost like a bit of a, I guess, a bit of a paste in a way, as it will thicken in here. and I just add it to this mix. And what I do next is I let it simmer for about 30 seconds because you don't want to burn your spices. Let it simmer for 30 seconds. And whilst that's simmering away, you can start adding your chicken, because what you're trying to do here is that when you're eating the curry, there's nothing like worse than having some powder between your tongue. So now you can add your chicken to the mix. Just put the chicken there, and then just coat it gently. Gently, and let it simmer a little bit. Before you add it, you cover it with some water. So as you can see, I've now added some water to the curry, and whilst it's simmering away, this is when I'm going to add the vegetables like the potatoes. I'm just going to add them in. The cauliflower, oopsie daisy, the cauliflower, I will put that last because it will soften too much. Now, you can change your vegetables for this curry. You can put some eggplant if you wanted. Eggplant is good, but not for chicken curry. You can change this to be just a vegetarian curry as well. If you like sweet potato, you can add some sweet potato to this, replace it with the chicken, or even some pumpkin. Jean-Paul hates pumpkin, so we don't eat pumpkin a lot here. But yeah, so it's a very kid-friendly meal at this stage. I have not added any chili in this because Jean-Paul says I spice him, so I'm not going to put any chili in there, but that's okay. I'll still have chilies on the side because I love my chilies. So once this vegetable here, the root vegetables like the carrots and the potatoes, once they've started to soften and the chicken will release its juices, that's when I'm going to add the cauliflower in to make sure they cook as well. Now, now is a good time to put in your tomato as well. You're not going to put too much of that. Just maybe 2 tomatoes finely chopped up, and just mix it with the curry like that. And I'm just going to add a little bit more just for some more flavor. It's a good time to season. Remember to season well. Salt, and voila, we're just going to let that cook for now and let it simmer away. And whilst that's simmering away, pour yourself a glass of wine. As you can see, oh my gosh, the smell, how good does it smell, Bash?
Great.
Does it? So, by the way, cheers everyone. We're now going to put the cauliflower because the potatoes have softened quite a bit. I don't want to squash the veggies too much, so I'm just going to pop the cauliflower anywhere that I can pop them in, and even here. Now, probably not the most traditional way of cooking this. My mom is probably going to be watching this and doing, but you know what, it works for me. So I'm just gonna let it simmer a little bit more. I'll put the lid on, and whilst that's simmering away, I'm gonna let it simmer for about maybe maybe even 10 minutes whilst it's simmering away. And at the end, that's when I'm gonna put the coriander. So yep, see you in a little bit. So it looks like we've got magic going here. I've just added the coriander. The cauliflower is nice and softened. I want to reduce it a little bit more, so I'm just going to reduce it. I'm going to put the lid on, and then after that I'll check in back with you, and it's a good dinner for a Sunday. So as you can see, the chicken curry is finally cooked and we're ready to serve up dinner. So I'll see you in a minute. Hi guys, so welcome back. Our curry has finally been done. So we've got our beautiful chicken curry which has been stewing away. Now in Mauritius we'd probably have this with white rice or with some Indian bread, some Indian flatbread, so some chapatis or farata or roti. But in my house, Jean-Paul loves brown rice, we're going to have this with some brown rice to keep it quite simple. We also, back home, we'll probably eat this with some tomato chutney or some cucumber chutney just to relieve the heat a little. But as I mentioned before, I did not put any chili in this dish other than the chili that's existent in the curry powder. So it's not going to be super spicy, but if you do like to spice up your life, feel free to add some really red chilies to this and just give it a bit of a kick. So have a great Sunday. Hopefully you enjoy this channel, and if you do want the recipe for this, just keep watching this space. We've got some big project coming up next year and I can share that with you. Au revoir.